So if you Google the most popular meats in America for the holidays, that actually mirrors the most popular meats that we sell right here in our store. And those popular meats are 4 items. First is the Christmas turkey, the second is the Christmas ham, the third is the prime rib, and the fourth is the filet mignon. And what we're going to do for the next couple minutes is talk about each one of those things, the best way to prepare them, and what you should be looking for when you go to purchase them. The fourth most popular item that we sell at Christmas time is the prime rib. Now there are 2 ways that you can buy prime rib. You can buy boneless prime rib and you can buy bone-in prime rib. Most of the year, the bone-in prime rib is usually a little less expensive than a boneless prime rib, but around Christmas time, so much prime rib is sold that they actually are about the same in price. So you have to make a decision. Should I get a bone-in prime rib or should I get a boneless prime rib? We always recommend this. If you have just a small roast, a medium-sized roast, a boneless prime rib is the way to go. Not a lot of waste, doesn't take quite as long to cook, got wonderful flavor, and it's an excellent way to slice your prime rib. Gives you a nice presentation and it's easy to eat. If you have a bigger prime rib or a bigger crowd, and if you really like that flavor of the bone in the meat, and if you have more time, then we would recommend maybe getting a bone-in prime rib, because when you cook a prime rib longer, that bone helps develop the more complex flavors that make that prime rib so excellent. Once again, a smaller piece of prime rib is best if you get boneless, and a bigger piece of prime rib is best if you get bone-in. When you purchase a prime rib, it actually has 2 sides to it. It has a rib side and a shoulder or chuck side. When you go to a restaurant, for example, you usually get the rib side of the prime rib. That is the prettiest piece of prime rib. It is well done or medium done, and it's tender. The other end is the shoulder end of the prime rib or the chuck end of the prime rib. Now, we happen to think that this particular part of the prime rib is the most tender and most flavorful. And the reason for that is, as you can see, more marbling, a little better fat cover, and the structure of the muscle makes it more tender when it's roasting. So, what do you look for when you buy a piece of prime rib? The first thing that you're looking for is to have a nice fat cover on it, fat cover that covers the entire piece of meat. The second thing you're looking for is the color of the meat. The meat color should be bright red, almost pinkish, with some marbling in it, as you can see. That marbling goes through both sides, as we talked about before. The shoulder has a little bit more marbling, so therefore it will be a little more flavorful, will be a little more tender. Of course, not everybody can use a piece of prime rib this big. And we're very happy to cut that for you, and that will also change the cooking time of your prime rib. So a prime rib like this will probably take about close to 3 hours to cook. So if you're going to have a smaller crowd, now this prime rib will probably feed about 18 or 20 people. If you're going to have a smaller crowd, you of course don't need all this. So this is where the decision comes in. Do I want the rib side or do I want the shoulder side? So it's entirely up to you. So I'm going to cut this in half and kind of show you what it looks like. Now this is where the marbling really comes through when you cut the prime rib in half. You can see the nice fat cover on top of it, the beautiful marbling inside of it, and this is where you make your decision whether you want the rib side or you want the shoulder side. Now I would take this side, the shoulder side, 99 times out of 100, but a lot of people that like the presentation of the rib side will buy this side. And don't get me wrong, it's an excellent piece of meat. Thanks for spending time with us, and for all of us here at Urbaniak Brothers Meats, we would like to wish you a very happy holiday.